We've got some breaking news on the race for Fed chair. Steve Liesman is standing by for more on that. But first, let's head to Washington to Eamon Javers. And Eamon, what's the news?
Kelly, the news is the president was just talking about the Fed chair race in a session in the Oval Office. Reporters asked him about how many people he's considering for the job. The president said he's considering 3 or 4 people for that job. The president did not commit to selecting a Fed chair before the end of this year. He said it's coming soon, but not necessarily before January 1st. And then he was asked specifically about Chris Waller and Michelle Bowman. He called each of them fantastic. Discussing each of them in public is interesting. But, to my read, Kelly, it didn't appear that the president here was doing anything other than being polite in responding to the reporters' questions about each of those figures. Hard to see the president sort of leaning in either of those directions, although I'm sure, we're going to sort of parse the comments and look at the tea leaves and see if just by the fact of mentioning them, it indicates sort of downward momentum for Kevin Hassett in this race overall. Kelly, back over to you.
Wow. All right. I think we can look at maybe at Kalshi too, Steve, see if those odds are swiftly moving. But what would you add?
I was just looking at that. Waller bounced up a little bit, then he bounced back down. Where is he now? He's at 19. Yeah, he was at below 15 before the president made those comments. Look, I would not disagree with Eamon. I would just point out these are some of the first nice things that the president has said about Waller. There's a lot of people on Wall Street and in corporations across America that think Waller would be an excellent choice. Yesterday at the Yale CEO Summit, after Waller spoke and I interviewed him, 83% said they wanted him to be Fed chair. We've reported and talked about some blowback from Wall Street against Hassett. By the way, blowback that Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent called absurd, but that is there nonetheless. I think what's interesting here is that I asked Waller, were you going to tell the president that you needed to remain independent? And he said, absolutely. So if the president, if he said that to the president yesterday in the interview, and the president is still saying good things about Waller, then I think that's probably a positive development for Waller's candidacy.
Yeah, again, the market, Kalshi, prediction markets, whatever, reflecting those odds. But this is now an entree in another chapter of who becomes chair, Steve, that we're going to wait to hear more about, frankly.